Good evening, folks. Welcome to tonight's episode of the Rattler Roundup Podcast. And this evening, of course, as you know, we're talking all things FAMU. What's up, Kenneth? How are you this evening? What's up? Hopefully everybody's doing well. Hopefully everybody was able to watch that SWAC Tournament game earlier today at 11 a.m. Well, hopefully you could kind of sneak away and watch on your phone on the ESPN app away from your job or anything. I know I was right in the middle of in between treating patients and stuff for my job. I was watching it as well too, like the rest of you. And I came away very impressed with what the women were able to do. Not only do you beat Bethune's ass on a Thursday night, you come back and you beat them again and send them back home, send them packing on a Tuesday morning. Early to rise, early to send them home. Love it. But yeah, so, we're going to talk about that, of course, a lot of other things, baseball, softball, of course, football also tonight for this episode. And as always, too, be sure that you are, giving the Fan Exchange, continue to support and give to those girls and stuff. Wonderful thing that they're doing. As always, like I always say, I give my dues when I can. I think I'm kind of behind right now, but it is what it is. It'll be fine. Also, Ace was unable to join us this evening. He had some things he had to take care of. He might honestly be at that little Rays town hall meeting. Funny enough, if he is. Lucky bastard. But nevertheless, flying solo tonight. Comment section is open. So by all means, always be sure to leave a comment. And as always, if you're new to this channel, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel as well, too. It's going to be a fun time this evening. And again, welcome if this is your first time joining us. So with that being said, let's dive into it. So 2 games in a row, women's hoops. March 5th, Thursday last week, you get a win against Bethune or Mary's School, 66-60. And then today you come back again and you beat them in day 2 of the women's SWAC tournament and you send them home again. So now tomorrow, you've earned yourself a date with Alabama A&M. So now, yes, this is like what the top team in the conference and stuff on the women's side. I know everybody's wondering, what will it take to get past Alabama A&M for the FAMU women? Honestly, look no further than the numbers. We'll try to break this down as best as I can. I know Ace is usually the wizard with this. I had women's stats for him tonight. Shame. So in that first game, again, and Shania McCarthy basically has been the go-to person. 14 points that on that Thursday night, 13 points to earlier today, this morning, 7 rebounds Thursday night, 2 rebounds today, so dropped by 5. And then both games, 36 minutes, impressive still. 6 of 13 from three-point range, or 6 of 16 from three-point range in that first game. Only took 1 3-pointer in the second game, but still, the one she took, she made it count. 1 steal apiece in each game. She had 1 assist in the Thursday night game, but she had 1 turnover this morning. 2 for 2 at the free throw line in that game on Thursday night. And then, of course, 6 of 16 today in field goals, but she didn't shoot from the free throw line today either. And then, oh my gosh, something's brewing with Jaylen Brown. My bad, I'm also multitasking, watching the Celtics Spurs game on NBC right now. Staying focused though. Also too, so as a team, and these numbers are gonna have to get better if you're gonna beat a team like Alabama A&M. I'm not picking them to beat Alabama A&M, but these numbers have to be better if you want to have a better showing. So field goals, as we see that first Bethune game on Thursday night, 24, 54, 44.4%. 1 of 6 from the 3-point line. And then, of course, as a team, they were 1 of 6. I think I have those backwards. And then also, of course, free throw line, 17 of 25, 68%. Those numbers aren't going to cut it. And then, of course, you fast forward to this morning, 19 of 57, 33.3% from field goals. 3-point line, 1 of 5, 20%. Free throw line, 16 of 20, 80%. So it was better. Free throw shooting was better today. So hopefully that continues to be better. And that's honestly been an upward trend amongst both the men and the women that we've seen in the last 2 weeks. As well, too, I liked what I saw in the first game. 36 points in the paint, 18 points off turnovers, 6 second chance points, 12 fast break points, 10 bench points. And that's what all accumulated to, of course, the 66. Now, what happened today, maybe we'll chalk it up to early morning. But 26 points in the paint, that's a 10-point drop-off. 12 points off turnovers. Again, another drop-off. 6 second chance points. Okay, you matched that from the first time you played them on that Thursday night. 6 fast break points when you had 12 the last time you played. 6 bench points when you had 10 the previous time. You're going to need more fast break points getting the ball in transition. You're going to need more bench points. So your depth in your bench is going to have to come into play this next game when you play Alabama A&M. The second chance points every time that you get a shot at putting the ball back up. So again, boxing out, rebounding, you have to make it count. You have to draw flat. You got to draw fouls. When you play a team like Alabama A&M, who likely might come out of the SWAC and make it to the NCAA tournament, you got to make it count. You can't. And you're going to have to win at the free throw line. Got to make your free throws, which, again, that's been the upward trend. You go from 68% on a Thursday to now Tuesday morning, you're shooting 80% from the free throw line. Just saying. Possibilities are there. You just got to take advantage of it when the opportunity presents itself. So, again, we'll see what happens, tomorrow against Alabama A&M. I don't think they'll win. I want to be optimistic and tell all of you that I think they have a chance, but I just don't know. That's a tall task. So we'll see. Now, moving on to men's basketball. And again, the beautiful thing is, once again, you beat Bethune. Home floor, everybody stormed the court. That was fantastic. That's the momentum that you need going into the SWAC tournament. You got a two-game bye or a 2-round bye, so you don't play until, March 11th. Actually, I think I have it. Hold on 1 second. I believe I do have it. First, I guess I'll share the women's bracket. On November, well, actually, you know what? Here we go. So, looking at this right here. Here we go. There we go. Looking at this right here. So, as of now, of course, FAMU got past Bethune-Cookman. So now, 11 a.m. tomorrow, they'll see Alabama A&M. If they get past that, they play the winner of that Southern Jackson State game on March 13th at 11 a.m. So, geez, it's all early morning. Golly, everything's early morning. Oof. Well, it is what it is. Made this bad, we gotta lay in it. And now for the men, so once again, pretty much, so as follows. So again, you have a 2-round bye. You didn't play last night. You're not playing tonight. So now you await the winner of the Jackson State game, and then we go from there. And then, of course, I'm trying to see now. So if you get through that, you play the winner of the Southern Pine Bluff game on March 13th. So you still have an added day of rest. Nice. Sounds good. Huh. I think that this team can beat either Jackson State or whoever wins between Grambling and Valley. I think this team definitely can. And that'll be at 8:30 tip-off. So tomorrow night, 8:30. Nice. I'll be here and relaxed. Wonderful. So yeah. So let's get into the numbers here. So just looking at it in that game against Bethune, Jaquan Sanders, 18 points, 7 rebounds, 29 minutes, 3 of 6 from the three-point line. And then 2 assists, but 5 turnovers. Got to cut down the turnovers. I think that's what, those 5 turnovers, that's part of the reason why they got the 77. So I think if you cut down on the 77, I think then you have a shot. Field goals, you were 26 of 63, 41.3%. 6 of 20, 30% shooting. So, again, the three-point range, this team needs to get better at shooting threes. And me and Ace, we say this every single week. And then, of course, the free throw line, 23 of 27, 85.2%. So, again, much like the women, they're shooting much better. 40 points in the paint, 18 points off turnovers, 22 second chance points, 10 fast break points, 21 bench points. So this team's taking advantage of when they get the second chance. Wonderful. So again, whoever you see in that next game, whether it's Jackson State, Grambling, or Valley, you're gonna have to take advantage of the second chance points. And that's what you like to see. And then, of course, dominate in the paint. So 40 points in the paint again. Perfect. And just to remind everybody, again, that's the bracket. Hold on one sec. So, yes, you've had 2 days rest basically coming into this tournament. So you've already got a leg up on whoever that you're going to see. If you see Grambling or Valley, you've got 2 games worth of tape to go back and watch. If you see Jackson State, you've got 1 game worth of tape to go back and watch. And then we go from there. So, all right. So with that, now I guess we can go on over to baseball. So this is what we got in baseball. So last 4 games, unfortunately, came up a little short by 2 runs against Florida. Against Villanova, you took 2 out of 3. Not bad. Again, you played an SEC team on the road. And then, again, Villanova. Oh, my goodness. Why do I keep taking myself off camera? And then, of course, Villanova as well. 1-4 in that last game. It is what it is. We won the series. So what's next? March 13th through 15th, Southern. And then March 17th against Mercer. And that's the start, I believe, of a 2 or 3 game series. So, wonderful. 1 second, folks. I am so sorry. All right. So, no. My apologies for that. All right. So, yeah, 3 game series against Southern. Again, if I'm not mistaken, as I go back and look, actually, yeah. So 3 game series against Southern. Last time you played Southern, you didn't even get a chance to really play them. It got rained out February 22nd in Barrow Beach as part of that classic. You should already be familiar with Mercer because you played them 2 previous times back on the 24th and the 25th, where you only got 1 run. You were in 2 games, you were outscored 12-1 by Mercer. So after the 3 game series against Southern, you have a 1 game matchup against Mercer on the 17th. Then you go on the 3 game skid to Pine Bluff for 3 days. So in this case, you got to knock them all out. Knock them all out and make it count. Oh, there it is. And then softball. Wonderful job, ladies. Going into Mississippi and getting the job done. Winning your game, out of the 2 games you won in this 3 game series, you won 14-6, outscoring Jackson State in those games. And then losing the one in the middle, that's fine. But then still, you took the series. So wonderful job. So now the ladies turn their attention to Mississippi Valley. So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe these games are in Tallahassee. Let me see. So these next 3 games, actually, yes, they are in Tallahassee. It'll be a 3-game homestand in Tallahassee. First game starts at 6 p.m. That's when first pitches. Second game, first pitch is at 1 p.m. And then, of course, the last one on the 14th which is a doubleheader. One at 1 p.m., the other one at 3 p.m. First pitch is at 3 p.m. I think they got it. I think that'll be a 3-game sweep. Get the brooms out. I think it'll be an open and shut case. Pretty simple. All right. And then I guess, now that takes us to... Oh, no, we're not ready for the Rattler of the Week yet. We are not ready for the Rattler of the Week yet. Spring game. So they finally announced it with the game time. So it starts April 3rd on a Friday. I think this has to do a little bit with also the fact that Sunday is also Easter Sunday. Friday night under the lights, which is new, which I think this is actually a genius move, to be honest with you, to have it at night, let the LED lights do their thing, break out the cannon, let us get a look at, what this team is going to look like going forward, which also brings up the next question I have. What are we looking to see once we get to the orange and green game? And quite honestly, what I'm looking to see is I'm just looking to see consistency. I'm looking to see guys that, have a better understanding, a better grasp of the offense. I'm really looking to see, what is Quinn Gray going to give us in this game? What guys that played last year that really probably didn't get their potential maximized are going to be heavily involved more so in this offense this year and get their potential maximized? I'm also looking forward to seeing Caden Brown, who's a Syracuse transfer. So we've been hearing things, of course, from articles with Gerald, and then obviously too, like, the videos he's been posting on, social media and stuff. And then, of course, also the videos that Vaughn has been posting on social media, bringing back certain chants that are 70-something years old from all the way back in the day. And then, of course, too, just hearing all these things, I'm almost, optimistic we may have another star edge rusher on our hands. What's going on, Kevin Talley? Hope your Tuesday night's going well. But that's what I'm looking forward to seeing. How do we look along the how do we look in the trenches, and then also what playmakers that are returning are going to be maximized to their full potential in this new scheme under this new coaching staff. If he is around. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it was, and one thing I took away from what Ryan Lewis had said, I believe in an interview, what was it? A couple of days ago. I think it was last week when they scrimmaged for the first time inside the stadium. He was saying, our goal is to get FAMU back to being that dark cloud defense, or continuing that trend, because he mentioned how, every year when he was in the SWAC, it had always been, when he was at Alabama State, how, it was basically Alabama State, Jackson State, and then FAMU was at the top, that dark cloud defense and the emphasis that they placed on, just being dominant and being intimidating. So, I like it, and it's just, again, I always go back to what I reiterated, but it's so funny how, like, paths cross once again, because it's like, I go back to 2010, 2011 Florida Classic. Ryan Lewis was a linebacker for Bethune. Quinn Gray is, the quarterback's coach, and, partially OC, I believe, back then. These two are basically scheming against each other like Sunday through Friday. And now it's like they're matched up on the same team with each other, so it's like, it's a beautiful thing. I'm glad he's on our side now. He's been praising him a ton, and I love it. I love it, honestly. I'm curious to see, Ahmad Burris. I did not realize Justice Cross had eligibility still. So to see him out there gives me a lot of optimism, because I'm looking at this like, okay, so we still do have a linebacker with experience that is returning. So that's a good sign as well, too. So, Caden Brown, and then, Justice Cross, both playing key pieces, playing key roles in this defense. And then seeing a guy like, Ace Cobb and Ahmad Burris being involved on offense. And then Isaiah Knowles, starting to slowly gain confidence and everything, transitioning to the D1 level from D2. The speed is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit different. But again, seeing Trinidad Chambliss do his thing at Ole Miss gives me optimism that Isaiah Knowles can do his thing in the FCS. Because there's talent in D2 football. Trinidad Chambliss showed it. He just, rightfully so, chose to take another year at Ole Miss because nobody wants to play for a franchise that's literally going nowhere like the New York Jets. So there's optimism. So, yeah, that's everything I look forward to with this spring game, man. Plus, it's going to be a lot more energy involved with it because it is under the – well, you know what? Will it really be under the lights? Because that's around sunset because, again, daylight savings time. I see your comment, Kev. I'm going to get to that. Yeah, and again, that's a huge part of it, If you're going to play somewhere, you got to know the history. You got to know about the greats that came before you. Those guys across the street, they're emphasizing their greats. So when you come on this side of the tracks, you need to know who Albert Chester is. You need to know who Leroy Van is. You need to know who Willie Gallimore is. You need to know why is his name on the field house, which honestly, in my opinion, I think if he hadn't died in that car accident, I think he would have been the all-time leading rusher at the time and not Jim Brown. But that's just my take. Denzel Washington from Alabama State's looking good too, I hear. See, that gives me optimism. So now you're talking about two linebackers in the middle that possibly could be a dynamic duo, which is honestly what we need to get back to. Yeah, man, it's so important because it's like you have to understand. Again, we always say, the standard is the standard. You need to realize like what the standard was before you got here, and you need to fall in line, achieve that standard, or exceed it. Denzel Johnson, my bad. But you said it right the first time. Yeah. Yeah, you said it right the first time, dude. But yeah, man, I'm excited for this. I'm looking forward to, getting into Tallahassee for this and seeing what this team looks like. I really am. Hopefully they have another flash sale of old jerseys and stuff, but we'll see. And now for our Rattler of the Week. I guess we can go ahead and share that too. So took some thinking, but for Rattler of the Week this week, I decided to go with Tyler Shirley. So why Tyler Shirley, of course, or why Tyler Shirley, you say? So I went back and looked at the numbers and everything from that Bethune-Cookman game. And, Jaquan Sanders was the lead scorer. But if you look at it, Tyler Shirley had 34 minutes on the floor, 17 points, 2 steals, only 1 turnover, 7 of 8 from the free throw line, 5 of 11 in field goals. A huge chunk of those free throws, or he was at the free throw line the most. A huge chunk of those shots come from him. And I think he's going to need to put up those same type of numbers again if this team is going to be successful. Free throw shooting is going to be huge for this team in this tournament. If you want to dance in March or dance in the NCAA tournament, you got to hit your free throws. And at some point, this team needs to get hot shooting 3-pointers. It's just going to have to happen if you want to stay in the dance. I think the Thing Exchange may be having a tailgate at the ONGP. Oh, okay, yeah. Hey, I can get in it because I know I'm probably going to, because I work Thursday, so probably going to leave early from here to try to get there. But I mean, I'm just not finding out about this. So I mean, I'd be all for, going and checking that out. That would be cool. So yeah, sounds like a plan. So excited for this, actually. I was excited when he got hired. So I told Kelvin, I was like, I'm ready for them to start practicing now. And he's like, we got to get some players in first. But, it is what it is. All right, folks, let's see. Well, that's all I've got for you this evening. So far, I guess on the free agency front, Marquise Bell is still in Dallas. He's not going anywhere. He signed a 3-year deal last year. Xavier Smith at the moment is a free agent. I think he'll still end up back with the Rams, but I do think the Rams may do something where they may have to bring somebody in to push him because, again, fumble punt in the NFC Championship, that just can't happen. So I think the Rams might bring in somebody to, push him or make him work that extra mile to make the team again. Now, the beautiful thing is I think Matthew Stafford's a huge Xavier Smith fan, and I think that works in his favor. But I do think he'll be brought back on a 1-year deal. I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that one, Matt. Is it really liking how 22's been playing the last 5 or so games? Controlled aggressiveness. Yeah. When you're 7 of 8 from the free throw line, that's a huge boost to the team. And then when you only have 1 turnover, which honestly, like everyone did except Jaquan Sanders. If this team can limit the turnovers, your chances of advancing further and further into this tournament and possibly making it to the NCAA tournament, that increases exponentially. So you have to limit the turnovers. But we also need to find some 3-point shots because 6 of 20, it may get you through the SWAC. But if you plan on dancing past the first 4 and into the round of, 32 before it gets expanded here, what I think the NCAA wants to do. But if you want to make one of those little Cinderella runs, you got to improve 3-point shooting and just stay consistent shooting free throws. Now, how do I? Honestly, I've seen it all over social media. I knew it was bound to happen at some point. It is what it is. A lot of young Bucks fans don't understand this. I'm immune to this now because I remember when I thought John Lynch, Warren Sapp, and Derek Brooks were all going to retire. Well, Derek Brooks did retire a Buck, but I remember, when I thought John Lynch and Warren Sapp would retire Bucks, and then both of them end up getting, shipped out of here, shipped off to Denver, shipped off to Oakland. Warren Sapp didn't want to leave. John Lynch didn't want to leave. His family didn't want to leave. It is what it is. Ironically, Mike Evans lands with John Lynch in San Francisco. My thing is, hopefully he can stay healthy. I wish the best for him. I think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Multiple 1,000-yard seasons like Jerry Rice, you're first ballot. Plus, you have a ring to back it up, whether or not it's a COVID ring or you want to say only because Tom Brady showed up. Look, a ring is a ring. He's a first ballot guy, I think. I wish him the best. But now Emeka needs to step up, and Godwin needs to stay healthy. So we'll see what happens. If it doesn't work out, I'm still on the fire Todd Bowles train. Absolutely. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm on the fire Todd Bowles train, though. I really am. I try to be nice to about black coaches and stuff, but I'm if you're not doing your job, you got to go. Same way I was saying, Colsey had to go. I thought Todd Bowles should have been right there behind him. So, but apparently the Glazer family loves him. But if he doesn't make the NFC Championship game, I think he's out of here. And that's why he's 3 of 6 from the 3-point line. You can't do that. And you just you gotta be consistent, man. Consistency, just, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And it's funny you say that because it's like, points off turnovers, 13 points off turnovers. He had 5 turnovers. Because what is that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So 10 points. 10 of Bethune's 13 points off turnovers came likely from his 5 turnovers. So think about it. If he doesn't have 5 turnovers, the score is likely not 81-77. And it's likely more convincing, a little bit more convincing over the regular season champs. Again, you got to play smarter basketball. Got to play much smarter basketball now. If the Bucks had made the move last year, the Jags coach would have still been. And I agree. Yeah, I mean, and it was evident. You saw who made the playoffs and you saw who didn't. Because, a large part of that 10-7 season was Liam Cohen. And I felt like I would have let Todd Bowles go, man. I thought he should have retired, honestly. That man, I don't know who his agent is, but that man knows how to keep a job, which it's crazy. But I'm telling you, and I've told a lot of people this. He's good enough to get you to the playoffs, but I just don't see them. I don't see them winning a Super Bowl with Todd Bowles. That needs to be the ultimate thing. Do you see yourself winning a Super Bowl with the head coach that you have? Jacksonville fans that are probably in this chat, I can tell y'all, you probably can see yourself winning a Super Bowl with Liam Cohen. Now with Trevor, who knows? That's another discussion for another time. But you probably can see yourself winning a Super Bowl with Liam Cohen. I don't see the Bucks winning a Super Bowl with Todd Bowles. So they need to go get somebody in here that I actually can say confidently I see them winning a Super Bowl with this guy. I saw them winning a Super Bowl with Gruden. I felt they had a chance to win a Super Bowl with Bruce Arians because he was no nonsense, no biscuit, no biscuit. So it comes and goes. Like certain people you just know. Raheem Morris, I didn't see it because he wasn't mature. He was too young. Rondé Barber at that point was like the oldest person in the building. And Raheem Morris was also going to the Blue Martini and never mind. Let me get off my soapbox here. But, Max Crosby became available again after the failed physical. So, who knows? The Jaguars may go get him. Caleb Von Chaison's a free agent. I think. Oh, no. That's right. He wasn't Jacksonville, but he played for the Patriots in the Super Bowl. So, hey, he could go back to Jacksonville. Who knows? It's going to be a lot of people in play. It's a lot of talent got picked up already yesterday when free agency opened. And, there's more guys. Kangle's still in the building. He's definitely a tall boy. So from what I found out from somebody from the tight ends coach, ironically, because I met him at a function. I want to say about a year ago. I met the Bucks tight end coach at a function because I asked him who would they draft, and he kept saying he was like personally he wants Tyler Warren out of Penn State last year, but Tyler Warren ended up going to the Colts. He was saying that Bruce Arians lives currently in somewhere in Georgia, like not in Atlanta, but outside of Georgia. Probably, I think it was like Macon or something. And he's just chilling out, enjoying his retirement. Every now and again, he'll come check in and everything. But he is a huge Todd Bowles guy. And I think part of it is I think he's been in the Glazers' ear as far as keeping Todd Bowles around. And I think that that's also kind of like a hindrance to the team, I think. But again, Todd Bowles, great defensive coordinator, not a good head coach. And that's what some guys are in the NFL. And that's what some guys are in coaching. Some guys are not meant to be head coaches. A guy like Todd Bowles, you're meant to just strictly be a DC. Same thing with Josh McDaniels in New England. he is, because we remember he sucked as a head coach. That's the type of guy that he is meant to be an offensive coordinator. And that's what he's done with Tom Brady. That's what he's doing now with, up in New England again with, oh my gosh, not Mac Jones, but the other kid. Whatever his name is. I know that he played at UNC. Wow. Good for him. Still can't forget what Jameis said about him. Dude, you got to be more specific. Jameis said a lot about him. Now, if you watch the Raise the Flags documentary, Bruce Arians told everybody, and I remember that interview clear as day. He was like, look, if we can win with this quarterback, we can win with any other one. And we're going to look behind door number 1, door number 2, door number 3. So, I like that he was straightforward with Jameis, but I just can't remember what Jameis said about him. So what did Jameis say? Because, again, Jameis says a lot of stuff. Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember that he said he thought Bruce Arians was a black man because he hadn't had LASIK surgery yet. I was like, what? Now y'all see why he had 30 for 30. Y'all see why he had 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. You can't even tell if a white man's black or white. Like, what? You couldn't even distinguish between colors of jerseys. So you like, oh my God. Yeah, that's crazy. I still can't believe he said that because I remember when he did say that. That's wild. That must have been a hell of a LASIK surgery. He couldn't see it all. Dude, it was so bad, man. The fact that man won a Heisman Trophy and won a national championship is with bad eyes, squinting. That's crazy. That's just crazy. Oh, Jesus. But all right, folks, that's going to do it for me this evening. I appreciate y'all joining in tonight. Ace couldn't be here this evening, unfortunately, because he had some family stuff he had to attend to. He'll be back next week as well. So hopefully we're talking about, FAMU going to the NCAA tournament next week and possibly, having won the SWAC. Hopefully. But until then, again, be sure to leave a comment. Y'all be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Of course, again, Rattler Roundup Podcast will be here every Tuesday. So, until then, always remember, strike, and strike again. And also y'all stay safe and stay blessed. Always, man, appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. I'll definitely be at the spring game. I'm working on trying to get Ace to the spring game. I know for a fact Ace will be at the Classic this year, and Ace and Mr. Sasser will also be at the Classic. But yeah, appreciate y'all tuning in, man. And until then, y'all stay safe, stay blessed. We will see you next Tuesday.